Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Messi and Co. Live Edition. I'm Ashley here, as always, with my incredible co-host Gian, live with you guys on a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday, after a busy week of Inter Miami football. But starting with you, Gian, how you doing? It looks like you're sitting outside. Is it going to rain?
Yeah, I actually just realized that it looks like it's gonna rain. This is such a, I don't know. I actually just wanted to be outside and change the scenery for a little bit and not be in my office. And I just noticed that it's gray, so it may start storming on me, and I may have to run inside like mid episode. Bro, the timing is crazy. But yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thanks. How are you doing, Ash?
Okay, good. Well, yeah, we're against the clock here, but I'm doing good. I wanted to check actually, is my connection okay?
Yeah, yeah. You are great. Great, great.
Okay, awesome. Cool. Yeah, I'm doing good. Was a little sick over the past weekend, which was a little, never fun to be sick, but much better now. And I'm really excited because I am going to be going to the game this Saturday. Of course, what we'll be previewing in a bit against Orlando City rivalry game at New Stadium as a fan. Just going as a fan with my friend, and I'm really excited to experience it in the atmosphere for a derby for such a fun kind of game. So yeah, I'm just getting really excited.
Yeah, I there's a lot going on right now
A lot
in
going on.
Miami. Like there's a lot. There's the F1 is here this weekend. Apparently there's a golf tournament as well. Obviously you have Inter Miami, and then there's also what else? There's one more thing that I feel like I'm missing, but there's a lot going on this weekend. So I feel like it's gonna be crazy. Like the streets are gonna be crazy,
Yeah.
traffic is gonna be nuts. But it's an exciting game, and I think that what a great time to go as a fan. Like you're gonna get to enjoy it. Um, I might end up going as a fan too. I'm looking at it. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm gonna go to Formula One, if I'm gonna go to the Inter Miami game, if I can do both. I got to figure that out with the schedule, but it's definitely
That'd
gonna
be
be a
fun.
fun
Yeah, it'll
weekend.
be an
Yeah,
action-packed weekend for
yeah,
sure. But well, so we're gonna obviously get into that game coming up in a little bit, but we have to talk about the week prior. And since we did our last episode, it was interesting because we had what was an amazing midweek game at Real Salt Lake. The energy was insane. Obviously, Inter Miami with a really big win on the road. It was fiery. We saw this absolute golazo from Rodrigo de Paul, and we saw a freaking left-footed volley from Luis Suarez. Class is permanent. We see that with him. It got him the start Saturday. But that game took a little bit of a different turn, 'cause still haven't gotten our first win at New Stadium. But before we get into that, because obviously we're gonna talk about a few things, getting into the comments here. Aloha as always. What's going on? Good evening, team. Uh, this is a point that I think we should address, which is that Messi's the frustration that he's feeling, right? After what was such a good result at midweek in a difficult West Coast road trip, it's still not actualizing itself. And so, what do we do with that?
well, it's just his competitive nature. I mean, he's going to be frustrated. He wants to win every game. He wants to win every game. He wants to be in good form going into the World Cup, even though we can pretend that nobody knows what decision he's going to make. Almost certain that he's going to play in the World Cup. And part of being in good form is not just himself, but also the team he's playing on. And I think that that's important to him. Anybody that says that because of the fact that he's basically gotten it all in his career, the World Cup, the Copa America, Champions Leagues, La Ligas, like this does matter to him, right? And for him to go into this season and right off of the bat have that type of result where he's no longer in Champions Cup, I think was a big hit, not just on the team, not just on him. It's just everybody as a whole, the fans, everybody. And I think that that affects him. And more than anything, it's the product on the field. I think he shares some of the same thoughts that we have, that he looks around at this team and he's like, you should be getting better results. And I think that that's what is most frustrating, that knowing that the talent is on there. You talk about Berterame, that again, we've talked about it so many times, comes from the Mexican league and being the top Mexican goal scorer in the Mexican league just last season, talking about having Allende on the pitch and breaking the goal record for MLS playoffs. And now coming in here, not scoring a goal in 9 games again, we know that he's come back from an injury. He didn't have the preseason that we wish he would have had, but still, I think that's frustrating. Seeing the Paul not being as impactful as he was later on in last season, those sorts of things I think are taking a toll on him, and it's good, right? You don't want your leader to just be
Right.
all nonchalant, and it's okay if we don't do well. You can see that frustration, and I think it's the good type of frustration for Messi.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, he's still playing at a really high level. I think overall, the game on Saturday against New England, the team was tired. You could tell again, it was a tough week where you had that game Saturday in Colorado and then the midweek super intense late night kickoff for Real Salt Lake, which was a great game. But then, they come back after those two big wins, new coach and back to new stadium and there was tired legs. I think you saw more energy in the second half, but overall, it ended in a draw, and Inter Miami's still searching for that first win at the stadium, which hopefully we'll see this weekend. But yeah, it was definitely a lethargic performance over the weekend.
I mean, I think it's expected, right? I think that if you look at this last run of 3 games under Hoyos, I think it's impressive to see the results from this team. They haven't lost since Hoyos became manager of this team. And you look back and see how many games they've had, 3 games in what, a week, in the span of
Yeah,
a week or so. I think for them to come out with 7 points of a possible 9 is pretty damn impressive, regardless of the fact that they haven't been able to win at home yet. I know that it's discouraging, at least from a fan's perspective, it's discouraging. But I think it's more encouraging to see that they're able to take on tough teams away from home and still come out victorious. I think that that's something that we need to take as well. So all in context, right? As a fan, you want to see them win at home. It'll happen. New field, like new stadium, you want it, but look, this is an Inter Miami team that's gone through. I feel like internal turmoil over the last what, maybe month or so, with losing their, not only their coach but their entire coaching staff basically
yeah,
is what
yeah,
they lost, and then having to deal with suspensions with Yannick Bright not playing 2 games, having to deal with injuries. Yannick Bright is out, and to add insult to injury, you have not for not no pun intended, but David Ayala is injured and he can't slot in, and you're having to play in. What did we have, like 4 or 5 young guys on the bench that haven't gotten a single game under their belt, or maybe 1 game
yeah.
with Pinter. Like, I mean, they're going through a lot, and then it's not just business as usual. Hoyos is coming in and trying new things, right? He's trying to find the right spots for some of these players. He's bringing on Suarez off of the bench and having him in a starting role. I think that everything. It's just a lot of change. And I think when you look at that, and you look at that, this team has been able to again secure 7 of 9 points and play good, uh, on the road. Well, good is subjective, right? It's like you look at the product on the field. It hasn't been the best, but the results speak, and that you would rather see these results than another string of losses, kind of like what you were seeing, a string of losses, or not being able to score, or tie
Mhm.
after tie, like with Macherano.
I agree. I agree 100%. And so that's part of the title of this video and something that I really want to talk about. I said it last week as a joke, really. I was like, well, without Brian and all these people, who knows? Maybe they're going to play Messi, Suarez, and Berterame at the same time. And it ended up being true. And we're going to have a discussion. I have no idea what you're going to think about it. We haven't talked about this yet. That's part of the beauty of the show, is we say what we're feeling in the moment. I loved it. I really liked it. I thought Suarez, for having not played so many minutes and obviously being older and stuff, I thought that his energy and his playmaking and just his presence overall for almost the full 90 minutes was really good. I thought I saw so many times him and Berterame looking super dangerous, connecting off of 1-2 passes, like same with Messi. The 3 of them looked good together, and I really liked it. I don't know what it I don't think it's something we can do all the time, but it surprised me with the level that I saw out of that. I think there was some shortcomings in other aspects of the game, but in my opinion, like, I thought that we saw a lot of, like, ingenuity and excitement with those front 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we had, I think, a little bit of concern about, right? Having Berterame with Suarez and Messi there, knowing that you're not going to get as much running, especially help on defense with Suarez and Messi on the pitch at the same time. And I think it was always a bit of a concern. But look, Suarez is a seasoned vet. Suarez can run at half speed, and the moment the ball touches his feet, he's got an opportunity to score. I mean, look at these volleys that are coming out of nowhere. The volley that he scores against Real Salt Lake, I believe, he scored it an
Yeah,
incredible
the left
volley.
foot.
Then he gets, I believe, within the first 10 minutes of this last New England, he gets a volley also against Matt Turner. Matt
A
Turner
great
saves it,
save. Yeah.
but that could have been an incredible goal. Like, just anytime he has the ball at his feet, there's a big chance that it's going to go in the back of the net, and that's what you get with Suarez. And look, it's worked. It's weird, but it's worked with him, with Berterame, with Messi. That chemistry it's like that chemistry that Suarez has with Messi. You can't make that up. It's not it you can't replace that. And I think that that's one of the reasons that you've seen it work so well. It's just that those years and years of experience and playing together and that friendship, it works. And look, I think that they've meshed well. Berterame and Suarez,
I was gonna say,
surprisingly.
did that surprise you? Like, I thought, Messi and Suarez, we know that they can do the one that they've been, and same with DePaul, like, they've all had that relationship for a while. I thought the connection between Suarez and Berterame specifically was really, like, impressive. You thought they'd be fighting for the same spot. Again, I know it didn't turn into, like, 100 goals, but, like, just the eye test, I was like, "Wow, their connection is pretty strong for 2 number 9s playing at the same time."
Yeah, I think it's because they both have two different types of strengths, and when you only have one of them on the field and you only have Berterame, I feel like at times he was being asked to do Suarez things, and that's just not his game. And when I talk about Suarez things, I'm talking about playing with his back against the goal, and that's what Suarez does very well. He's really good at playing his back against the goal, getting the ball, touching, and then making a run or passing. Like, how many times did we see Suarez last season getting assists? Like, I think
Yeah.
he got, was he second or third in assists last season? I mean, he would get the ball and place these perfect centers, the 1-2 touches, and he's doing that now with Berterame, and that's allowing Berterame not to have to be the guy that's playing with his back, against the goal and being that holding center forward. He's actually being able to run into space and being able to focus more on the goal, and Suarez taking more on that role of facilitating aside from Messi. So I think that that's why that's worked so well. And if you look at over the last actually 4 games, we were so concerned with Berterame, and over the last
3
4 games, he's
goals in
got
4 games, yeah.
three goals, 3 goals, and 1 assist in 4 games. I mean, that's what you wanted when you brought him on and paid $15 million to bring him here. That's what you wanted, and I think that in part it's him being a forward and finding the right spaces and finding his game, and it's taken him time to adjust. So I think a big part is that him just adjusting and figuring it out, and the other part is Suarez being on the pitch, and that combination and familiarity that they've been able to create among themselves. So that I think that's great.
Yeah.
It's shocking Suarez is starting. It's kind of shocking, but it's not
It's
when you
shocking how
see.
far he made it while still, like, not looking tired.
Yeah, I think it's shocking because you wouldn't have expected Suarez to start this season, but then it's not shocking because what have you gotten out of Allende? I think that
Yeah.
that's the question as
That's the
well. Like,
big
what
point, yeah.
Allende hasn't given you anything. He hasn't scored this season. He's had opportunities to, and he hasn't done it. I think, even in this game against New England, I think he had an opportunity. Well, I don't know if we're going to get into that game yet, but he did have an opportunity, and unfortunately, it was taken from him. But you want to see more from Allende. But in the meantime, the Suarez thing is working. So I don't know how long that'll last for.
Agreed, yeah, I mean, that offside to call that offside was, like, a little bit,
Yeah.
but you know what I will say is, honestly, for the most part with refereeing, Inter Miami, compared to other teams and, what we see across the world in big leagues and all these refereeing concerns, I don't know, I don't think they don't normally get, like, such a short end of the stick to me, So, I mean, I thought it should have been a goal that was allowed, um, but like, when I think of the problems Inter Miami have or whatever so far this season, I'm not like, "Oh, the refs did it," you know? So, but it was just an unfortunate moment.
Yeah, yeah, it was, and it's unfortunate to just not because of just that game itself, but it could have been the one that opened it up for him, right?
Right, and yeah.
We've talked about it before about how some of these droughts are mental as well, and the moment that that ball goes into the back of the net,
Yeah.
it opens it up for you. It gives you all that confidence, and that could have been that moment for him. So that I think that as much as it would have affected the game and we would have come out with a victory, more importantly, so like just with a little bit of foresight is how this could have probably maybe changed the rest of the season for him. So we'll still have to wait for that moment. And I think it'll come. We have to remember last season, it took
Took
him
a
some
while.
time, right?
Yeah.
Before he became prime Pele in the playoffs, right? It took some time.
Right, exactly.
Um, but then again, unfortunately, he just didn't get the preseason he needed. But I feel like it's coming soon for Allende. I hope it does. And as soon as look, as soon as the floodgates open up for Allende, this team completely changes. I mean,
Mhm.
it's one of the things that they need the most. They're one of their best scorers is not scoring, and as
Crazy.
soon as
Yeah.
that changes, it'll be better for Inter Miami.
Agreed, yeah, and I mean, we saw it with Berterame, right? Like, finally got that first goal, and like we said, it's been 3 goals in 4 games, and so that's been great to see. Just a couple more things on Allende before I go into the other players. With the new FIFA Canada rule, would have been onside, true. And this one, I agree. It was so close that it didn't feel like with VAR, we go through it a lot. I mean, there's so many things. The idea is if it's like a clear and obvious error, that's what it's been. That's what it was created for. Obviously, there's been a lot of controversy over the years across the globe in terms of it, but the idea is that for clear and obvious errors that you miss on the field to overturn it with something that close where it feels like it's like a blade of grass, you don't need to overturn the call. And so it felt like that was an opportunity that just didn't go Inter Miami's way. Um,
Dude,
yeah,
I've seen some offside calls where it's like if the player had a size 9 foot instead of a size 10, it's like it's not an offside. Like, that's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed. Agreed. Well, but so yeah, hopefully Allende can get off, and start scoring soon because it has been a little, especially when you have Silvetti out, all the players we had, right, all these players that were unavailable to play. You wanted to see more with Allende coming back. But I want to talk about some of the other players in this situation that obviously uh, Hoyos was in with the suspensions, with the injuries, all of those things, putting it together makes it was difficult. We really didn't know who was gonna start, and obviously we talked about the starting 3 that for the most part worked offensively. Um, Other players David Ruiz got his first start of the season, a little choppy, but overall, I didn't think it was a bad effort from him knowing it was really his first, like, big chunk of playing time in the season. Honestly, like, it wasn't too bad of an effort. You saw Mura, um, Falcon, who as always is, always in the center of everything. But there's a player I want to talk about that we talked about a little bit this season, uh, but I want to talk about more, and that is Mikael, because I thought he was the man of the match on Saturday. He has been so to me wildly impressive as and having to press up high, especially with the lack of midfielders we had. We saw him playing super high up on Saturday, but whether, it's playing out for the back, defending on a one-on-one, defending in general, he, I think, has just been really, really top class, and so, like, I noticed him a lot on Saturday, and I was like, "Great acquisition from Miami." When it's been an off season where we've been questioning a lot of roster decisions and things like that, for me, he's been fantastic. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, that back line has definitely gone through some changes over the last few months to last season. I mean, I'm
Man,
talking
I was
about.
saying wait, sorry, John, I have to tell you this, I was seeing a clip of, like, when they played DeAndre Yedlin last, and I was looking at the players, it was, like, Kristoff and the think about who used to be Sergi Kristoff, who used to be on the back line for Inter Miami, like, Tomas Aviles, all that stuff, but anyway, sorry, keep going, it's just crazy.
No, yeah, Tomas Aviles. So remember, you never knew if he was going to finish a game or not. Um, yeah, no, there's been quite the transition in the back line. I mean, and when I talk about transition, I'm not talking about just players, but actual like performance wise and what you come to expect from them. Look, Mikael has come into this team. and he's found a perfect spot for him. Inter Miami has found, to me, its best
Center back pairing,
defender.
yeah.
Its best defender. But I mean, you mentioned center back pair, and I assume you're talking about Falcon, and that to me is kind of what I was trying to get to with. We've seen some transitions, some changes. Look, for me, Falcon was one of the best defenders on this team, if not the best. I always said he was in the right spot at the right time, positioned himself perfectly. If how many times did we see him use his big head with the
Mhm.
afro to head the ball out right at the line? Like, he was always in the perfect spot. And look, I think Mikael has slowly become this team's best defender. Falcon, I feel like he's regressed a little bit. Lujan has actually taken a step up. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah,
changes going on in this back line where it makes you wonder, is Mikael and Falcon the best center back pairing at this point? I mean, I think it's debatable. I'm not gonna tell you if there's a right or wrong answer. I think
I
that
think it
you
could be
guys,
Lujan and Mikael.
yeah, I'd be interested to see what you guys in chat think about it. Who would you pair? But Lujan, what do the kids call it? A glow up? Like, bro,
Yeah,
like, that dude is playing good. Lujan is playing good, which it makes you consider, is it Lujan and Mikael maybe the best pairing we have now? Does Falcon need to work harder and earn his spot back as a center back? I don't know. I just feel like, looking at this, maybe Mikael and Lujan may be the thing going forward that you want to see on this team in that back line, and
with
Falcon maybe
Muda and
work,
Noah Allen.
yeah, over Noah Allen. I think so. Noah Allen. If you want to talk about Noah Allen, we talk about this game right now against New England, and Noah Allen. I mean, they played three in the back: Lujan, Falcon, Mikael. Uh, Noah Allen played on that left side as a wing back, Muda on the right side as a wing back, and look, Noah Allen, I think, did really good. He
Yeah,
was pretty
I think
involved,
so too.
so I thought that was something good to see. But we'll stick on defense. Mura, I think, has been questionable. I'm not sure why.
I agree.
Yeah, I know Ian Frey came in the second half, but that first half, like, this is starting to slowly mold, and it's kind of like what you want to see with this team that's being developed, and um, with the new coach trying to figure them out. I think he's figured something out, and I think we'll start to see if this back three, or with the two wing backs, doesn't like become a staple of this team and it goes back to a back four. I think you may see something like Ian Frey,
Yeah.
Lujan, Mikael, and Noah Allen. If on that left side, if I don't know if Rayon ever comes back or what goes on with him, but
Apparently,
it's
he
starting to
practiced
form.
today.
I mean, that's good news. Rayon is, I think when he plays, he looks good. You just got to stay on the field. That's the tough part. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, this is
let's
a
see some.
crazy comment. This is a crazy comment. This is crazy. Muda just downgrade from cello. Honestly, it kind of feels that way
Ooh,
at times. Like, at least, cello was kind of one of those things where you felt like it was someone running full speed at, like, a piece of, like, glass or something, like, like, you see the intention, but then it broke
let
up.
me tell you something. It's so interesting what happens with some
Yeah,
of these players that come from other leagues, and they come here and play at Inter Miami or an MLS, and the impressions that you get as an analyst, as a fan. Oh, we're not the happiest with Jello on that right side, but Jello's the starting right back for Boca Juniors in Copa Libertadores game, and he plays good. Like, I'm watching him play in Libertadores this week, and
crazy.
even against River, playing against River Plate. Like, he's just, this isn't any team. This is Boca, like one of the biggest teams in South America, one of the
Crazy.
biggest teams in Argentina, and he's just starting right back. It's like, how can you say that, you know, like if you were to tell someone at Boca Juniors, hey, we'll start Ian Frey or Mura
Excuse me.
over Chelo, they'll laugh at you. Like, that's your starting right back. It's just crazy how those
Yeah.
things happen. Like, you almost wonder, like, what was going on at Inter Miami, because I always felt, honestly, this is my true, like, perspective of this. I didn't think Chelo was bad. I just think Chelo never got the confidence that he needed to play good on this team. I felt like they always undervalued him. They didn't
Mm,
want to give him the ball. Like, that's my overall thought. I think he never reached his fullest potential here in Inter
mm.
Miami.
It's possible, it's possible. I also think with cello, it was even sometimes less about that he wasn't good, and it was that Ian Frey was better. Like last season, Ian Frey just was was performing at such a high level. This season, I think it's been a little harder. But like when he came into the game Saturday, I thought he was impactful, and I liked what I saw. Um, I think I'd like to see Ian Frey start maybe in the next game, along with Noah Allen. We'll have to see, obviously, but
You
I
rather see
I
Allen and Mikael over Mikael and Lujan?
No, I'd probably rather see Luhan because Luhan's been playing really, really well and improved. It'll be interesting. I just think I don't know. I can't off the top think exactly what I would want for everything. It depends again on the midfield and the attack, but like I think I'd like to see Ian Frey over Amura to start in a situation like this because I liked what I saw.
Yeah, I want Lujan there. Jello is a locker room guy. Frey more talented. Mura can kick rocks. Look, the
Won't go
Mura thing
that
is
far.
crazy to me because yeah, I'm not saying I agree with that. Just reading the comment, but the Mura thing is wild because I mean Mura comes from Racing, Argentina, and
Yeah.
Racing at that moment in time when Mura came from there, they were playing really well. I think they were. I mean, they were in Libertadores. They won in Argentina, if you pay attention to the Argentina league, correct me here because I can't remember 100%. But is that when Racing won that that fake? Did they actually win, or did they win that fake like supporter shield thing that Argentina made up out of nowhere and they crowned them? I think I might be confusing my teams. You guys can,
Mm, I'm not sure
but
about that one.
Racing. The point is Racing is a really freaking good team, really freaking good
Right.
team. I have friends that are that follow that team religiously. So he's not like a nobody, and then he comes here and he just doesn't look the best. Rosario Central. Okay, that
Mm.
was the team that got that Racing won Sudamericana. Thank you.
Yeah,
And then
everyone's coming
Rosario
in
is
and
the one
saying
that
everyone knows, yeah.
Rosario is the one that they made. It's crazy. They made up this random like supporter shield type thing and just
Yeah,
out of nowhere, just, like gave it to Rosario, which was nuts.
that's crazy. That is crazy. The Racing had won Sudamerica. True. It's crazy. I mean, it does feel like either his play has gone down or, uh, like, it was just not as good as our other alternative options. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see because they made it for Di Maria. Well, some players deserve, their moments to shine, no
It,
doubt, no doubt.
it was
I think of that
it was
Di
a
Maria goal
crazy
sometimes.
controversy. Honestly, it was
Yeah.
nuts. I remember watching stuff on
Crazy.
it.
It was crazy. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, I think the game again, it was kind of a mixed bag. It was in a situation where Inter Miami come off of two great away wins. The energy was there, having to play, with a lot of injuries and suspensions, unavailability, new coach, all of those things together. I think we all expected or hoped to see a win on Saturday, and it wasn't meant to be. There is some lingering frustration, but I think it is important to say that the coaching and just overall play feels like is improving, and compared to, Mascherano, we're seeing more activity, excitement, and when you have maybe all of your best players available, it'll continue to grow. So overall, it was kind of like a mixed bag of a game. But what it did really get me excited for, oh God, this question. All right, right before we talk about it, how do I feel about Tottenham? I didn't talk about it already. I appreciate the question. They did get a win against Wolves, which was huge. But West Ham also won, which means our place hasn't changed. However, we finally won a game this year, and that's to
Against
me
the
very
relegated
important.
Wolves.
I know, but we
Against the
needed to
relegated
win. We had to get a win, and we did. It did come at the cost of Xavi Simons getting an ACL tear, which I feel terrible for him because he has such a good energy
That's
and
awful.
he really seemed like a really good, wholesome player who was, like, really playing for the badge, and, he's such a huge part of the Netherlands team, so that sucks for them going to World Cup. Tottenham have a serious injury problem. I think we've had 3 ACL injuries this year, if not more. I can go on a whole rant about Tottenham, medical staff, all these
You're still
things.
in relegation zone though. You're
We're in the
2 points
relegation zone. I just can't
fighting West
see my
not
team get relegated. Like, I
it's
don't
just
think they
crazy.
will.
It's crazy to see uh, Nottingham Forest, or that's I don't even know
Yeah,
how to
Nottingham
pronounce it.
Forest, yeah.
Nottingham Forest, like how good they were last season, and how like they were like top 3 at for a while, and how they're almost like they're close to relegation too. That's pretty crazy. But
Ruptured ACL, yeah, it's a shame for him. He's a great player, great kid, who was doing everything in his power to keep the team up. Don't worry, Spurs can win a trophy and promotion back. Don't even put it out in the atmosphere,
since we're doing
Francisco.
this sidetrack,
They're staying in the Premier League.
since we're doing this quick sidetrack from Inter Miami,
Yeah,
we'll get
go
right
ahead.
back to Inter Miami. I just want to take this
Lamine
moment
Yamal?
to talk about. Well, it's just it sucks that some of these players are getting injured right before World Cup. Like Lamine Yamal, hopefully he comes back in time. He's not going to be playing for Barca over the next few weeks, and
Yeah.
he's going to get 100% ready. But I don't know if you guys can hear that airplane. That's the only bad thing about being
I
outside.
did hear that airplane, but I hadn't heard anything prior to this, so the
Oh.
sound's been good up until then. That's crazy.
Yeah, but hey, can we talk about Champions League real quick? Holy cow! Did you guys watch
Oh
that
my god, yesterday's game
PSG
was
Bayern
crazy.
game? That game was nuts. That game was nuts. I was for a while. I texted my wife. I'm like, PSG's taking this entire Champions League, which I don't go for PSG by any means. I actually hate PSG because of the fact that they brought in Neymar and Messi, and that maybe that's just me being butthurt, but I hate them with a passion. But as an Ecuadorian, if someone has to win, I want Pacho. Pacho, one of the best defenders, if not the best
Yeah.
defender in the world. Not biased because he's Ecuadorian, but biased because I'm Ecuadorian.
Just like what you said from Moises Caicedo a couple years ago.
Exactly. I would be okay with PSG winning because I want Pacho to win his second. But I'm going for, and today, I don't know if you guys also watched the Arsenal Atletico Madrid game. My main team right now is Arsenal because I want Piero Hincapié, again, one of the top defenders in the world, not biased because he's Ecuadorian, but biased because I'm Ecuadorian. I want him to win his first Champions League. So I'm going Arsenal first, if not PSG, but I really like Bayern. So I'm all screwed up in the head. And F Atletico Madrid because they bounced my FC Barcelona both out of Champions League and Copa del Rey. So F Simeone, F El Cholo, F Julian.
What a character he is, yeah. But I will say, watching some of the games today, like the Metropolitano, like that really is amazing. Like it makes the sport so beautiful. Like it is, yeah. I mean, for me, I am in this instance now rooting for Bayern Munich because I want Harry Kane to win a Champions League. Like as a Tottenham fan, and I think most feel this way. Harry Kane was such a great servant for the club. He's a great servant for England, and he deserves potentially
Dude,
a
I love
Ballon d'Or.
Olise.
And
Olise is a monster.
oh
That's
my god,
probably
he's insane.
He's insane. He's
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite players right now to watch.
It
Olise,
was such a good
that
game.
dude is
Yesterday's game, it felt like it was like crack. You're like, "Oh my god, where all these goals come from?" You see some golazos, like, yeah, that was a really good game, and then you see today's game, which is 2 teams who were desperately trying not to score, but unfortunately had to off of 2 penalties. Like, they both tried their hardest to just play defense, but, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, that was a fun little again, we say it, and it really is true. We're gonna in the next I'm moving in the next week, and a half, so I'm a little things going crazy, but, like, middle of May, Gian, we are doing a World Cup episode, full World
You
Cup
should
preview
you're
with
always
Davi.
moving. You should go to Bali. That's where all the what do they call them? The people that work online and what do they call them?
Remote?
Digital nomads. You're like a digital nomad. You're always telling me I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. I think you should go to
Yeah.
Bali and do some crazy cool like Messi and Co stream with the beach in the back or something like that. That'd be sick.
Maybe. I am moving closer to the stadium though, so we
Okay, that's good.
yeah, and by
Will
the
you be
way,
able
I
to take the
saw a couple
metro?
people saying that they're gonna be at the game this weekend. If you see me, you're more than welcome to say hi. I'm shorter than you think. But, I'm really excited for that game. The French national team is scary. Yeah, I really we love international soccer, like, we really do. Our good friend and colleague Javier Guerrero does as well, and so we will do an episode with him, after I move in and talk about it. Very exciting. But coming back to Inter Miami, uh, with all that we said, sort of the ups and downs of the last week or so, the new coaching, the changes, um, what's happening this Saturday is a super important game because not only is it another chance for Inter Miami to get that first win at new stadium after what was, a difficult tie to see. It's against your biggest rival in Orlando City, the Sunshine State Derby. We saw it in the game earlier this season where Inter Miami made that huge comeback and you saw Messi offering his autograph to Orlando City's coach and bench, I mean, just brings out the absolute dog in him. Now it will be in the new stadium and with a chance to get a win, the atmosphere, the energy, the tension, like, these are the games that make it really fun.
Yeah, look, other than the fact that it's against our rival Orlando, like other than that, that team sucks. Honestly, they suck. Like they're 2-7. They have three losses, one draw in their last 5 games. Like I'm not worried about Orlando. I'm only worried about the new stadium curse right now. That's
Mm.
all I'm worried about. They've got to get their first
No
win at
Anton
home.
Griezmann yet, yeah.
No Griezmann yet. That's true. But look, one of the things leading into this game that I do want to quickly talk about, and it kind of goes back into last game, is somebody that's received a lot of criticism, and I believe rightly so, is El Motorcito, right?
Mm,
He has not, I think, played up to the expectations that are set on him, similar to at times last season, and then he absolutely played amazing in the postseason and leading up to the postseason. I feel like his level dropped a little bit, but I just wanted to give him some flowers, some kudos, because I think he played a good game this past game against New England. One of the things I'll say, maybe a little shaky at times in defense, but I really love the passes that he was making. And I think it was just in time where people were saying that we were missing that passing that Busquets used to do, where he'd, filter the
yeah.
ball and put in those through passes to guys like Tadeo Allende, which is one of the reasons why he struggled in part too, is just not receiving those passes. We know Tadeo Allende isn't a guy that plays with his back against the goal. He's a guy that needs to run into space and get those passes that if Messi wasn't giving it to him, Busquets was giving it to him. He no longer has
Mhm.
that. Definitely a factor. But this last game, I think that De Paul did a great job with these through balls. One of them being to Tadeo Allende that scored, unfortunately called in offside. But that's what he needs more of. And I think that if he can give more of those types of passes, it's going to open up the game for everybody. So a kudos to him. He had a couple of other great passes that he made into the area through balls that could have resulted in goals. He had what I think I counted 3, 4, maybe 5 centers into the area that were good placed balls. Like he was active in the passing. So I think that RDP is hopefully on his way on the up to the up and up, on his way to playing better,
Yeah.
and kudos to him. I really liked how he played, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They're gonna need it. You can't replace Busquets, but I think he can be a good filler, and maybe it's not necessarily the role that he comes from playing, but he's good enough to be able to adapt and play that. So I really liked that going into this game. So that's what we're gonna need against Orlando City, I think. You want to see more of that association between Suarez and Berterame if they end up
Yeah.
starting together again. If Allende starts instead of Suarez, you want to see more of that connection between De Paul and a running Allende. You want to see Messi a bit more involved. You want to see Messi getting assists. I think Messi has carried this team. I mean, I don't think I know, and I think many would
Yeah.
agree he carried this team, scoring goals. But if he's ever going to get assists, and people keep complaining he's not getting assists, well, I mean, he can only make the ball get in front of you. You can only make that pass. The other teammates around him need to finish it. So
Yeah.
we're going to need to see some of these guys put the ball in the back of the net, and then you'll start seeing some of those assist statistics go up for Messi. But I just want to see an engaged Messi, a happy Messi, and we get some of our guys back. Finally, Yannick Bright will be back and available.
Mhm.
I think that's important. Delasco, I think, comes back from suspension, so you'll see
Yep.
him play. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. It's always an exciting game, no matter how crappy Orlando City is. I think it's always an exciting game against them, and they're always going to get up to play us. Like it doesn't matter how
Right,
how
yeah.
they're playing.
Agreed, yeah, I mean, you always get up for derbies, for 100%. It's good for the team, for morale, all that stuff. I do think I was gonna say, looking at if we think the starting lineup's gonna be that different, I think obviously we'll see, Yannick Bright instead of David Ruiz, and then we'll probably see, Segovia in instead and probably not Luis Suarez. I mean, we'll see. Uh, Again, I thought that Suarez played well, even though he didn't score. He did play well, and like what I saw from him, I thought was enough to warrant another start. So it will be interesting to see. But it could be a game that when Inter Miami are looking to continue, like, being the best and wanting to get that first win at home, putting in a good shift, getting, like, winning by hopefully multiple goals, I think would be exactly what this team needs to, like, keep taking it to the next level.
It begs the question: are we seeing three in the back again? Is that just a
Yeah.
temporary thing? I mean, the first game Hoyos takes over as coach. He starts with four in the back, right? Mura, Mikael, Falcon, Lujan. He played Lujan on the right instead of having Ian Frey on that right side. I don't think that looked good, more so because of the personnel, especially playing Mura on the left instead of on the right. That's not his position.
Right.
Then you have two
And if
games in a
Reguilon
row.
was available, maybe.
Correct. If Reguilon is available, but we'll have to see because at the same time, you don't want to rush some of these players back. I just think that that's something that
Mm,
maybe Inter Miami is maybe mishandling. I feel like sometimes they get excited and the player gets excited and the player feels good, so they rush and a guy like Reguilon, like maybe you need to give him a couple more games. You know, maybe if he does play, maybe he only plays part of the game. So they got to be very careful with him. They got to be really careful with him. But it begs the question: 2 games in a row with a back three, Noah Allen and Mura as the wing backs. Are we going to see that again against this Orlando team? Are we not? Is it something that the coach did out of necessity rather than him needing, or rather him wanting to go that route? We'll have to see. I think that this game, this Orlando City game, is going to be very, very telling about what Oyo's direction is with his team. I think if he starts a back three, then that's what he wants to do with this team. That's how he
yeah,
plans on
I
playing
agree.
forward. If he starts with a back four, then we know that it was temporary. Him plugging in, missing holes with missing guys like Yannick Bright, again, a suspended Telasco, that sort of thing. And we have to remember at the end of the day, he's trying out new things. We said it a couple episodes ago. When a team is not looking good, for as much as we complained about this team not being good in attack, having holes in the defense, having to deal with tracking back against teams that play the fast counter and finding holes in between our defense, for as much as that talk that we saw, I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel when the new guy comes in and does something completely different than
Yeah.
what was being done by Macherano. So he's still tinkering. He's still trying to figure things out. Um, this is going to be his fourth game.
I was gonna say,
I
what's your
think
really quick, just off the top of your head, what would you give him as a letter grade for his first, for these last few weeks and his 3 games in charge, what will now be 4th?
I give him a B. I give him a B because of the results. Seven
Really? I
seven
give
out
him
of
an A, honestly. I think it's been really impressive what he's tried to do and taken a lot of courage. I think it's been good. It's been hard, but it's with the hands he's been dealt.
Well, the reason I don't give him an A is because of the product on the field I feel hasn't been the best. I think that you can look at results, and that's why to me he gets a B, because again, 7 out of 9 points, 2 wins, 1 draw, playing away from home, and I believe in 2 of those.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that gets him the B, but sometimes results can be misleading. And you can look again what's on the pitch, and you see you don't see a smooth, well-oiled machine. And I know that's going to take time. Um, so maybe in 5 games, I can give him an A. It can
Yeah.
move him to an A, but I still think it's too early to give him that A because, again, like you look at that game against Raw Salt Lake. Was it that one where Suarez scored and who else scored? Suarez
DePaul.
and Nepal scored. Nepal scored his first goal of the season with a banger from outside the box. Like that
Yeah.
was not something that happens all the time. And then Suarez, I mean, it was
Yeah.
your stuff
True.
like you weren't getting stuff from where you want to see a well-oiled machine is a team that's scoring with the guys that are supposed to score. Messi, Berterame, Allende, people that are going to be on the pitch all the time. You don't know how long Suarez is going to be a starter. So um that's the reason. I think I may be being picky. I think he can.
No, no, I get it, yeah.
I think in a couple more games, if we see this continue to progress, you give him an A. But so far, it's a B to me. I think he's done well.
Yeah. I mean, I think, what I've really liked, though, is just the excitement he's bringing. Like, I like how demonstrative he is on the sideline without being in my I think Diego Simeone, like, it's too much. Like, he does things where it becomes, and even sometimes Arteta, like, they try and become the show. I think Hoyos has been energetic and on top of everything, but not going too far. I've just liked his overall, I guess, vibe. But we'll see, and I mean, this is a good point too. If he's getting an A after 5, we may just be getting kind of that, like, new coach bounce and different energy, and clearly a different philosophy from Mascherano, which is why it looks so different, but, maybe too early to pass judgment.
Well, I asked this question: would you rather this team continue to struggle until World Cup, and even maybe a little bit after World Cup, continue to struggle, look poor, just so you can get another coach? Or
I
would you
don't think
rather this
so.
team excel and you come World Cup in a couple of games after World Cup, they haven't lost and they've won 90% of their games. Berterame is clicking. He continues to score. He continues to assist. Allende finds gets his mojo back and is
Yeah.
scoring. Like, would you rather that, or would you sacrifice that just so you can get a coach that you're excited for, one that sells, one that is enticing, like a Xavi or a Gallardo or somebody like that? Like, to me, I'm thinking, like, as much as I want Xavi or I would love Gallardo, I would like one of those coaches. I mean, I think about team first, and I
Yeah.
want this team to excel. And if this team looks damn good with Hoyos, who cares? Like, that's what you want at the end of the day. But but if he doesn't and he looks okay and things aren't looking the best, then damn, give me Xavi, give me Hoyos, Gallardo, give me somebody
Yeah.
exciting that can get this team to get the results that they should be getting with the amount of talent that they have on the pitch.
I agree. I think, if it's not broke, you don't have to fix it. In terms of box office, you don't need your coach to be box office. You have Lionel Messi playing for you. Uh, you have all these talented players. Suarez, you still have Rodrigo de Paul. The coach doesn't need to be the standout player. I think that if to your point the results go down and there is one of those amazing coaches to bring on, like, for sure would be excited. But right now it's the team is playing well. I think Messi, even though he's been frustrated overall, like, I think he's happier with the strategic decisions and personnel decisions you're seeing on the field. And the overall vibe has improved. And so as long as that's the case, let it ride.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's one of the things that it's number one. They're going to be looking to have a coach that is is well accepted in the locker room, right? I
Yeah.
think that what you had with Macherano, at least what some of these reports are saying, is that he had basically lost the locker room. One thing is to have a poor product on the field and a poor level, because sometimes you can get out of that, right? I think that we have to remember that in sports, just like players and coaches, there are streaks where things go downhill and sometimes it takes time to get out of it. But once you've lost the locker room, it's really tough to regain it. And that's what some of the reporting was saying about Macherano, that there
Yeah.
was issues within the locker room. He read he read into that. He knew that his time was
He's reading the
um
tea leaves. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's why he decided to leave. But if Hoyos can win the locker room, and if he can get this team playing great football on the pitch, then there's no reason to look for anybody else. Now, if you're asking, Ash says, do you think the team has already made the decision on hiring a new DT? Here's what I think. And this is a personal opinion, not any reporting, but I think that Hoyos is a contingency. Hoyos is a guy that's interim, that they have an idea of who they want. They've probably already approached that coach. They've probably already told him, at least ask the question again, whether it's Xavi or somebody else. And I know Xavi could sound like a pipe dream, whatever, but he may be available, and say, hey, is there even interest in
Yeah.
coaching this team after World Cup? And if there is, then I think that they're
An
already
open
thinking about
conversation,
it.
yeah.
Now, do they have these signed papers and all that? No, because I think they're still waiting to see what happens with Hoyos. But at least they're going to have a plan A minus, not even a plan B, a plan A minus,
Yeah.
where they're ready
Short
come
leash for
the World
sure.
Cup. I think that's probably what's happening behind the closed doors.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, this is, a great point. We need a coach that is able to handle the likes of DePaul and Suarez and coaching up the younger talent. I think that could be Hoyos. That's obviously he has was and is the sporting director, knows all the players very well. And I think you can see that to your point. Like you can see that every play, like, with interim coaches, this sometimes is something that is always missing, but you see the comfortability, right? The comfort that these players have with Hoyos. They've spent time with him, and I think that comes through, which is a positive.
I don't think it's just comfortability though, because I feel like they were comfortable with Mascherano. What I've always said from the beginning, since Mascherano came into be the coach, and then seeing him as his trajectory up and until they won MLS Cup and that sort of thing, I think there could be something that is, there's a scenario where there's too much comfortability, right?
Mm,
There's too much friendship. Mascherano has a big friendship with Messi. Mascherano's age, you talk about age, he's close in age with some of these guys.
right.
When you have a coach, when you
The
have a
level of
leader,
respect.
there
Yeah.
has to be exactly, Ash, there has to be a level of respect. There has to be a level of fear. It's a healthy fear, right?
Mhm.
Not a fear of I can't talk to you, but a fear of you're the guy that's over me. You're the guy who decides whether I'm going to play or not. You're the guy who decides how many minutes I get. You're the guy that can basically make my career what it's going to be or what it's not going to be. And I felt like they never really had that with
Yeah.
Mascherano. Um, did they respect him as a person? Yeah, but I just felt like, especially when you have big egos, you have RDP, you have Suarez, you have Messi. These are guys that played again in Champions League games, in World Cups, that won World Cups. Like you have to be able to manage those types of guys, and and you have to have the experience where you've managed those types of personalities, and I think that
Yeah.
that's what maybe Oyos has that possibly. And if anybody else comes after him, you're gonna need that. You're gonna need somebody that these guys respect and holds them accountable, because it's tough. It's tough, and not to say a basketball reference, but like it's like managing guys like LeBron James and being able to the guys that want to do whatever they want to
Yeah.
do because they feel like they can, and you need somebody that can manage that.
Agreed. 100% agree. I think, we'll see, not trusting Hoyos until we'll see what happens with Mura. We'll see if Frey, Lujan, there's a lot of options. It'll be interesting to see as he continues to coach, what patterns we begin to see develop, and how that plays out in the field. But yeah, this has been a really great episode. I'm super excited for Saturday. Hopefully you go too, Gian, and we can see each other there. Like I said, if you see me, you're more than welcome to say hi. I think I'm in the 200 section, something like that. Um, I can't wait to go as a fan. It'll be really, really fun. I'm going with my friend who loves soccer. I'm taking the Metro Rail too, actually, which I'm excited
You should
test
you should
out.
vlog that. You
I should
should vlog
vlog,
that
right?
and put
Yeah,
that,
maybe.
or at least a
I'll
couple
do
of
some
videos on there.
footage.
You should
Well,
put it on the Messi and Co X account. That'd be
yeah,
fun.
I will maybe. Yeah, that it's true. It will be fun, but it'll be exciting. As we go, really quick, as always, do you have a score prediction and what you want to see? And thank you, everyone, by the way, for watching, participating. Great conversation, great chat, as always. We love to do the show, and we'll be continuing to do it. World Cup stuff to come, but yeah, Gian, give me your score.
um
Fun.
I'm gonna go hyper optimistic on this one, like probably the most optimistic I've ever been in my life.
You
I'm
being
just
optimistic. Let's hear it.
I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. I think that not only is Inter Miami going to, put an absolute goal fest on this
Mm.
Orlando team, they're going to score at least three goals. It may be, I'm going 3-5, but let's get at least
5-0.
goals.
Wow, that's a prediction.
There you go. Okay, that and he matched what I was going to say. It's going to be a clean sheet. I think that
Mhm.
this defense is going to play their butts off. I think Dane St. Clair is going to play amazing. I think they're going to get a shutout at home, and they're going to put on a show for the fans 3-0, and we're going to break the new stadium curse. Finally, we will break
Mm.
it. I'm excited.
I love that. I love that. I'm not gonna do that exact score, but I do think, it's gonna be a win, and I think it's gonna be a lot of goals from Inter Miami. So, but I do think they probably will let one in, so I'm gonna say 3-1. Uh,
Allende gets his first goal.
I
Yes,
ended
maybe.
first goal. I wanna see a Messi golazo, and, I maybe a Suarez volley. That's if you're asking what I'd like, that's what I like. But yeah, I think Inter Miami are gonna win, get that first win at new stadium, show up for the derby, take the energy and the good vibes with them, and I think it'll be a really fun night.
It will. It will be fun. Um, yeah, Inter Miami has to be a world class club.
Yeah. It's a
There's
world-class stadium.
a lot of ways to do that, both on the field and off the field. And if you've read into the big story that's come out recently with all the communication stuff, it's pretty crazy. I would tell you to read into that if you guys can. So, and then what else? Last game I
Bringing
went
the good
to
bringing the good
was it?
vibes, yeah. Bringing the good
Yeah.
luck.
So yeah. So it'll be
Love it.
exciting. We'll see. There's just so much happening in Miami this weekend. I'm gonna try to make it to as much as I can. Still trying to see if I
Great
go to Formula
great
One. I
weekend
would
to
love
be
to do
in
that.
Miami.
Yeah. Traffic's gonna be probably nuts too this weekend. So if you guys, any of you are going to the game, make sure you get there early. Again, this is still a new stadium, so things
Yeah.
are getting worked out. Just the normal traffic from everybody trying to figure out this new location,
And
in and of
everyone's
itself,
flying
is a
into
thing.
for the race too,
Yeah, but
really.
now with the race and with the golfing thing, and there was something else. I know I'm forgetting something else. But there's gonna be a lot going on, so make sure you guys arrive early, early, early.
Agreed, agreed. But anyway, yeah, so we'll see how that goes. It'll be a fun weekend to be in Miami for sure. Thank you as always to everyone for watching this episode of Messi and Co. I'm Ashley, that is Gian, and we will see you next time.